if back of body doesn't work, then you could lie on the side of your body to begin with. If you want to have a bolster behind the knees, you can. If you want to use the blanket as a little pillow, you can. If you want to pop your eye pillow on. So get really nice and comfortable. I'll just give you a couple of moments to do that. And then you might start to close the eyes or soften the gaze. So taking awareness inwards. If we've not met before, which I think a couple of you are having, then my name's Karine. This is Yin Yoga. If you've not practiced Yin before, just to give you kind of like a really brief insight into it, it's one of my favourite things, so I could tell you just for the next 3 hours about Yin Yoga, but I won't. It's very different to a flow class or a hatha class, ashtanga, that kind of thing. This is more about flexibility than it is strength. So it's a really good one to combine with a more active class. It's a really good one to combine with more active activities like swimming, running, going to the gym. And rather than targeting muscle for strength, we're going a little deeper into the body. So we're thinking about ligaments, tendons, even bone in some ways in Yin Yoga. And as opposed to maybe holding an active shape for a couple of breaths, sometimes we hold for 5 breaths, in Yin we're holding things for minutes at a time. So our approach to this is quite different. We need to approach it with a softness of mind as well as a softness of body. But as always, we're going to just take time to arrive. Perhaps you take a nice deep breath. And just let go of your day. So often one of the more challenging parts of our Yin Yoga practice is the mind and the thoughts. So it opens up a lot of space for us. And when we're in stillness or more passive, kind of like if you find when you go to bed sometimes and just as you're like, yes, lay my head down, now I shall relax, and it's like boom, 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 lots of different thoughts. So you may find that happens. I'm really selling it well here, aren't I? But of course we have tools that we can use to help with a busy mind. One of which is just acknowledging each thought, but then allowing it to be released. So rather than becoming involved in the thought, in the story, and often our thoughts aren't facts, they're not true, we just say, okay, that's the thought that came in. As I breathe out, I'm just letting that thought go. So let's take awareness to our breath. You might pop the hands onto the belly, or you might just become aware of your low belly and take a deeper inhale so you can really feel the belly rise into the hands. Lovely. And a nice slow exhale. Really feel that draw back. One more. And then just come to natural breath here. So I would say breathe in through your nose. Generally speaking, we always say in yoga that breathing in through the nose is much better. You could breathe out through nose, or you could breathe out through mouth. And you might find that your exhales are slightly longer. So it can really be a practice of releasing physically and also helping us to release emotionally. So at any point when the mind may become quite busy, we look to the breath, take a deep breath, and just recenter ourselves. So be present for as much of the experience as you can be. Never get these moments again. Enjoy. You might like to work with a word or an intention. Sometimes we call it mantra or affirmation. So, your word could be as simple as peace, rest. You might like to dedicate your practice. It could be to yourself, thanking yourself for being here, thanking yourself for being an awesome human being. You might like to dedicate it out into someone else or into the world. So these are all just ideas. You take what you feel works for you and you leave the rest behind. I'm going to take just a few more moments as we are just welcoming in this stillness, allowing the body to settle. Excuse me. And then really slowly, almost reluctantly, just start to bring a little bit of movement into your body. That might be a wiggle of fingers and toes. Might be a little bit of a wiggle of the face. Just checking that we're not clenching the jaw. And then let the movement expand a little bit more. Perhaps it comes into a stretch. You just explore your surroundings, reaching up, wide. And then let's bring the knees in towards us. So if you can reach, you could catch hold of them. If you can't, or you just can't be bothered, then that's okay too. Just give yourself a little roll from side to side, almost kind of lazily. And we're going to keep hold of our right knee. We're going to place our left foot down onto the ground. And you should all have a strap within reaching distance to your right. So unravel that strap. You might need to lift the head and shoulders away from the earth. We're going to take the strap around the ball or the arch of your right foot. So that's up to you, what you feel is more comfortable. Keep the knee bent in for a moment. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, we're going to start to take the sole of the foot up towards the sky. So try not to wrap the strap around your hand. So you've also got kind of like a loose hold here. It's just assisting having that foot in the air. We named this one, people of yoga named this foot to sky. Perhaps close the eyes or soften the gaze. Let the elbows rest down on the earth and the shoulders. So the strap should be long enough even for those of you with longer legs. And we're going to take 3 minutes here. So as we come into our first minute, you might think, okay. But as we come into second or third, you might feel like perhaps you need to bend the knee or you need to loosen the grip a little bit. So yin is about what we call finding our edge. So we want to experience some sensation, It's not the same as restorative yoga. It's often confused with, but it's definitely not the same. But we don't want to go too far past our edge. So we don't want to be tugging and pulling on the strap here and like, come on, I've got to get my legs straight. That wouldn't be the yin mindset. So there's a gentleness to this. Just stay with the steady breath. Try and be as still as possible, but that absolutely doesn't mean you can't move and adjust. And it doesn't mean that you're stuck in this position. So if for whatever reason, physically or emotionally, you start to feel like I need to let go of this shape now, then please do. And at this halfway point, completely up to you, and you can try it, and if you don't like it, you can go back. You might want to extend your left leg down onto the mat, so just slide it down. For some of us, it will intensify the stretch. For others, it might actually relieve the stretch a little bit. So give it a whirl, and then if you think, oh, no, that's a little bit too much, just pop the foot back down onto the ground. Final minute. Keep the softness to the face, to the hold of the strap. If you experience in the final minute a little bit of shaking, that's okay. So this is just your body kind of communicating, this is different. I don't normally hold this position for this long, or I've never held this position before. If there's pain with that, or kind of pins and needles sensation, then I would say release from the shape. So we're paying attention all the time, just gentle attention. Nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, start to bend into that knee. Slowly release the strap, place the foot down, either to the earth or you might slide it long. So this is up to you. And this is what we call rebound. So we have a moment or two where we're just letting the shape download. Weird thing to say, but you might feel like if you lengthen both of your legs out, like one leg now feels longer than the leg that you've just stretched out, because it probably is a little bit. You're not going to walk out wonky, because we're going to do the other side. And I've never known anyone to become wonky from just doing one side of yoga anyway. So let's take our time. Bring the feet onto the mat. Bring that left knee in towards us. Everything is a process. We take the strap, we hook it around the ball or arch of the foot. Keep the knee bent. You take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you start to extend. So bear in mind that it can feel very different on one side to the other. Could be lots of different explanations for that. Could be sensitivity, injury. You have a dominant side. Once you feel that you are in the position that right now works for you, take a deep breath. Soften the face, the shoulders, elbows to earth, and even soften your grip just a little bit if you can. At the halfway point, maybe you want to keep that right foot anchored to the earth. Maybe you want to explore sliding it away. Exactly same thing applies here. So if you explore it and then you actually think, it's not really for me, and just gently bring it back. Coming into our last minute here. Oh, stay anchored with the breath if you can. If the breath isn't working for you as your anchor, and that's okay. It doesn't work for everyone every day. Maybe you focus your awareness on a part of your body. So you might have a soft gaze at your big toe in the sky. A nice deep breath in when it's there, and as you breathe out, soften the knee, release the strap, just push it to the side, and then decide what you want to do with your lower body. Feet to the earth, legs extended. Maybe close the eyes and just allow that to now settle and soften in the lower body. So sometimes we're kind of really busy, right? And we're going from one thing to next to next to next. That isn't time for things to resonate. This is time here. Bend into the knees, pop the soles of the feet down onto the ground, and just shuffle yourself over onto the side of your body. So just snuggling up on the side as if you're in bed. Either side is fine. Go with whichever one you're guided to. So it's often said that the side that we do roll to is the energy that we're yearning for. So our right side is our more active side, our left side our more passive side. And nice and slowly, only if you want to. So, if you don't and you want to use this space to just have a little rest now on the side of the body, that is fine. If you want to, push yourself up. And we're going to meet on our hands and knees. So really take your time. Maybe your life is just like super busy, and actually this is your time now to slow down. Are we all warm enough? Yeah. Okay. I've put the heaters on. So we'll come on to hands and knees. If you've got sensitive knees, you could pop a blanket underneath your knees. We're going to start to just move the knees back a little bit here. So imagine that your hands are glued to the earth. The knees move back, the arms will start to extend, but we want to keep our bum over the top of the knees if we can. We're going to bring the elbows down to the ground. And here, the bum is really nice and high, and we kind of feel like we've got a dip right in the lower back, a little compression dip. You could just let the head hang heavy here. That will feel like you've got a little bit of pressure in your arms. You could slide the arms forwards and bring the forehead down, and it's like your heart space is coming down here as well. So this one's called melting heart. So again, please take your time. Just come up ever so slightly and forwards. And then if you take your arms forward, but keep back the body the same, slide them all the way forwards. Nice. That feels slightly different. Does it feel okay? So it can be quite an intense stretch through upper body, particularly into the armpits. If you feel like, oh, gosh, this is quite intense, then you could cross the arms, catch hold of opposite forearms. Or you could bring one arm back in and work just on one side of the body. I'll let you know when we're halfway there and you could switch. I can hear some really nice breath. And again, at any point where you might feel physically or emotionally, this shape just isn't working for you, slowly come out of it by coming onto the hands and knees. There's a meme that's like, don't force relationships, ponytails and yoga poses. I've probably got that completely wrong, but yoga poses is definitely in there. And this is not about forcing. So this can show us that actually we can have a gentle approach, but it can still be pretty powerful. We're halfway there. Doing really well. Last minute here. Notice how the body feels, where the mind has drifted to. What's the breath like? As you breathe in, start to slide the hands in towards you. Take a breath out. Inhale, push the hands into the earth and start to rise up nice and slowly. Take an exhale. So we're going to move into a bit of a counter pose for this one. You might keep the blanket underneath your knees if that feels better. We take the knees wider. Turn the big toes towards each other. Seat comes back towards the heel. So ideally, we want to keep the back of the body nice and close. So we might bring, I mean, for me, it also just feels like, oh, like I'm cuddling up to something. So you might bring a bolster in. You could absolutely use a block. You could use a combination. So the bum stays nice and low as we start to bring the body down. So rather than kind of thinking, I want to get my head down, but the seat lifts, we keep the seat down and we meet our heads. So you could just have your bolster, have a little snuggle. You might be on one side of the face, in which case I'll let you know when we're halfway. You can switch sides. So take your time, there is no rush. And once you feel settled, nice deep breath in. And let it out. Stay anchored to body, to breath, to your words, or a word might come to you throughout your practice, or maybe your dedication. So we're approaching the halfway point. If you want to, you could switch sides of the face, but that's only if you want to. And if you do switch sides and then you feel like actually it's not comfortable for my neck on that side, just come back to where you are. Just letting yourself sink into the earth. Lovely breath. Last minute here. Turning the head back to center. Just bringing the hands onto the earth. Slowly unravel yourself. So take your time. And then we're going to pop onto our bums from here. We'll keep the bolster. I'm going to take a straddle position. So in yin, we call this dragonfly. It's very pretty names in yin. So if you know you are, I mean, sometimes we don't, but if you know that you are hypermobile, so Jay is a good example of hypermobile knees. So his kneecaps kind of push back and like banana leg. You could demonstrate like, everyone, look at my husband's legs. But if you know you are, when we're folding forward, it's going to put quite a lot of strain on the backs of your legs and like push them. So I would suggest, but again, you don't have to listen to anything I say. You could get your blanket or you could get blocks and pop them behind so that there's just something there. Might even serve you better to be on your heels for folding forward. So you don't want to over strain. And then if we look at lower spine, if you feel like you kind of round through the shoulders and your spine is rounding, then see if you can sit on maybe the flat block, because this will tilt your hips forwards and it will help you with the forward fold. Nice one is to use a bolster. So have it at a bit of a diagonal. Take a breath in, keep the feet just a little bit flexed. And then as you breathe out, just come down, rest the head on the bolster. You can rest the arms just on the earth. So take your time. Set yourself up nicely. If you're unsure, if something just feels a bit funky, then tell me. And once you get there, take that deep breath. And it's absolutely okay here for the spine to round a little bit now. And when we approach our halfway point this time, you can have a little bit of kind of personal inquiry about whether where you are at now is just the position that you should stay in, that's your edge, you've met it, or whether you feel like you could release the bolster and instead use a couple of blocks that are stacked. Or you could absolutely release the bolster altogether. The only reason I wouldn't suggest that is if you've had any kind of neck injuries. That was my ankle, don't worry. So we're coming to that halfway point, and it's absolutely fine for you to just think, I can't be bothered to move, this feels all right. And, you know, not all positions will feel super lovely. You should never stay in something that feels really shitty, to be honest. But if it just feels like, oh, this is a bit of a challenge, that's okay. Or you might decide to get rid of the bolster, to try with some blocks in a slightly lower position. Lower doesn't mean better, it just means it's a different version. Up to you. Excuse me. Got 1 minute left here. Doing really well. Nice and slowly. You might want to just hold on to your bolster. Let's begin to lift the gaze. And just pop your bolster down. And just take a moment. There's a little bit of a counter pose because I've been folding forwards. We could work into the heart space a little bit. So we'll turn the fingertips away from us, place them down behind us. You'll feel out where it feels okay for you. And then lift the heart. You'll feel the shoulder blades just start to draw together and might gaze up towards the sky. Tuck the chin to the chest, walk the hands forwards. And then just find whatever position is comfortable for your legs and your feet. So before we come down onto the ground, you've got some essential oils. There's rosemary and there's lavender. So just be mindful if you've got an allergy or if you really hate the smell of rosemary or lavender. We're just going to use a little bit if you want to. You know, everything is optional. So you might pip out a little bit out, pop it in the palm of your hand, just a little bit together, get a little bit of heat. Just bring it closer to the face, you can smell it. And then use it on body. If you've got rosemary, you can use it in your hair as well. If you're feeling like you're quite ungrounded, you might want to give your feet a little bit of a massage. If you're feeling like perhaps you want to work with your throat space and maybe there's things that you need to say and speak out about, you might give your throat a little massage. If you want to heal the heart space a little bit, you might give your inner arms a little massage. So silly as it sounds, but these are where the energy lines for the heart are. And then we're going to come down onto the back of the body. We're going to take a couple of props with us to support us. So there's no rush. Just thinking to myself. So as long as does anyone have any lower back issues particularly? Okay, Jane, you probably use a bolster then for this, not a block. So we're going to come into a supported bridge position. So we'll have our bolster or our block next to us. We'll demo it now and then we can all kind of do it when you come down in a moment. So we'll take ourselves down nice and slowly. Come with me, friends. Feet to the earth, about hip distance apart. We're going to push down through the feet, lift up. The block we use on its flattest level, and it just goes at the base of the spine. If you want to use your bolster, because it will be a little bit softer, I've got boobs rolling up to my chin. Nobody needed to know that, but brain to mouth. And then we're going to release the hands. So we've just got this little bit of uplift. So come down nice and slowly. Take your bolster under. You could even take your blanket. So it's just something to give that little bit of lift, base of spine. If you feel like something's not quite right, then let me know. So this is a supported bridge position. And different things that we can do here. Could stay exactly as we are. You could extend your legs down onto your mat and rest on your heels. So again, you know, everybody is really different. For some people, this may intensify your back bend. For some people, this may relieve it and make it feel more pleasant for you. So try it. If you don't like it, then pop the feet back down. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes. So important that you feel that it's sustainable. So everyone is different. We're all going to have a different expression. Nice deep breath. So I've just got this really lovely lift of the heart space. And we're already halfway there with this. One more minute here. So nice and slowly. If you've extended the legs, let's pop the feet back to the earth. And we're going to come out the kind of same way that we went in here. So we push down through the feet. We start to lift the hips. We might even need to lift the heels. Just gently pop our prop to the side and allow the spine to roll back down to the earth. Give it a moment there. And then it might feel nice here to just really slowly, you could time this with the breath, let the knees drift from side to side. So it might be a very small movement, it might be slightly larger movement for you. Just again, a little counter pose to that deep back bend. And then from here, we're going to start to make our way into Shavasana. So Shavasana is our final resting position. So take your time. Think about how you'd like to position your body. You might extend the arms and legs. You might have the knees bent. Would you like a blanket to cover part of your body? Would you like an eye pillow? If there's something that you can't reach, or again, if something just doesn't feel quite right, then let me know and I can help. You can always lie on your side as well in Shavasana. So if you'd rather kind of curl up on the side of the body, go for that. And once you feel that you have found your position, just starting to close the eyes or soften the gaze. And have a little check in. So is there anything that is going to bug you? So that strand of hair, that piece of clothing that's just a little bit twisted round. So as best as we can, we want to eliminate distraction so that we can really truly absorb this rest. Just giving yourself a moment longer. Perhaps you've already closed the eyes or softened the gaze. Take awareness inwards. We're going to finish with a scan through the body. So nothing that you need to do. You don't even need to listen. If you drift off, it's fine. If you do snore, then I'll just gently come round and touch your hand or your foot. Our journey here begins at the sole of the right foot. Perhaps you take your mental awareness, the mind's awareness, to the sole of the right foot. The tip of each toe, the heel of the right foot, the ankles, the right lower leg, the right kneecap, and the back of the knee, the right thigh, the right glute, the right hip, the right side body, ribs, the right armpit, shoulder, upper arm, elbow, the right lower arm, wrist, back of hand, palm of hand, fingers and thumb. The right side of the body. Take your awareness to the sole of your left foot now. The sole of the left foot. Tip of each toe. The left heel, ankles, lower leg. The left kneecap, back of the knee. The left thigh, glute, hip, side body, left rib cage, left armpit, shoulder, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, left wrist, back of hand, palm of hand, fingers and thumb. The left side of your body. Take awareness now to the base of your spine, the lowest part of your spine that you can feel or you can imagine in your mind. And slowly traveling up to the mid-spine, the upper spine, the back of the neck, the back of the head, the crown of the head, over into the forehead, the right temple, the left temple, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, space between the brow, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right nostril, left nostril, tip of the nose, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip, lower lip, chin, jawline, throat space, right collarbone, left collarbone, and towards the heart space. All the way down towards the belly and the belly button, the space where expansive breath unfolds. Perhaps you take a deeper breath. The whole of your body resting. Right side of body, left side of body, head, face, heart. The whole of your body resting. Just allow for the next couple of minutes yourself to absorb this rest, sink into the hold of the earth. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Just exactly as you are. And in a moment, I'm going to count down from 10 to 0. And the closer we get to 0, the more you start to feel yourself reawaken. You might bring a wiggle here and there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Take a nice deep breath. Whew. So slowly, just having a little stretch, maybe just a gentle little roll. Really, really normal to feel tired after a yin practice. So we are just a chronically under-rested society. When we get that chance to rest, it can kind of be, it's normal to have heightened emotions. It's also normal if you don't. So just feel into whatever it is that you're experiencing and know that it's okay. If you want to drift your body over onto the side, just snuggle up like you're in bed. And then you might keep your eyes closed or just have a sleepy gaze as you push into the earth and start to bring yourself into a comfortable seat. So take your time. I'm sleeping here tonight. So just find a comfortable seated position. Have a little stretch out if you need it. And then we'll meet with the hands either placed on the heart or you could join the palms. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just a gentle bow to your heart space. Thank yourself, body, breath, mind. Thanking each other. And of course, thank you for trusting me to guide you. The light and dark in me honors the light